really excited to get started with this new group. Tomorrow we could have 9 new faces on this roster, and it's just really an exciting time, for me and for the organization with this new group that we have coming in. Just feel that we got some hungry guys and some guys with some things to prove. A professional group that this fan base organization will be proud of.
With so many new faces, how does you as a coach go about familiarizing yourself with the guys? Obviously you know them at some level, but it's a film study.
I got their names written on the board, so just a reminder of all the guys that we have. But it's going to be something that will take some time. What we've done is encourage our guys to get here to Indiana as soon as possible. And for the most part, our young guys have certainly been here from the mid-July after Summer League, working on conditioning and strength training and getting themselves ready. We had the majority of our guys here mid-August playing because I think chemistry is going to be very important with our group, and we have a short period of time to work on all of that before opening night. Only 4 preseason games, so it's going to be important that we get chemistry, and I now know that everybody's here, and we can get going tomorrow.
But is it anything where you have Tim break down film of each guy or anything like that?
No, I've been studying film, on our guys, every move that we've made, from the time that we've drafted players, watching our guys in Summer League, watching them in college. When we made trades and we brought in, guys from some of the trades that were made, and some of the free agents that we've signed. I've been studying film on tendencies, but for the most part, I think I know these guys that we have on this roster, especially the free agents and the guys that we acquired through trade. So it won't be that difficult to get them out there and put them in a position where they can be productive. I think it's going to be a very competitive group. We have 2-3 players really at every position that will play for us, and could possibly start for us.
Is it an open competition at the point, at the 3 at this point?
I wouldn't say it's open. I have an idea of who we want to start, but again, I think it's going to be very competitive. And if you're out there and you're being productive, we certainly are going to leave you out on the floor. So, as I mentioned, I think we're going to have a 5 that certainly could start and probably will start, but we're going to have some guys who are coming off the bench that I think is equally as talented and are going to be competing for minutes.
How do you get a player like Victor Oladipo with an expanded role for Miles Turner? How do you get everyone their touches, but yet let them find their way on a new team?
We're going to play team basketball, and opportunities will present itself if you play the game the right way. And Victor, we certainly know that he's a huge part of this organization, but he's a part, and we feel that he has a ton of potential, and I want to put him in a situation where he can grow and be productive. The same with Miles, but everything is going to be about team basketball here, and we'll figure out how to personalize and get guys opportunities, certainly if they're producing. So we're in the business of developing our guys. We know that we have to continue to do that and to continue to do that. I don't see that being a problem. Victor certainly will be the starting 2. I can assure you that. And Miles is going to be our starting 5, and with the ability, that versatility to play some 4. So we'll go from there, and we'll see how these guys come together and continue to just build off of that.
Nate, you guys talked about, we've heard a lot about Miles being the person you guys are building the team around to some degree. What has he done over the summer that gives you confidence that he's ready to take on that role as a young player?
Well, I haven't put any added weight on Miles. What I've told him, basically after we made the decision to trade Paul, it's different now, for you. A lot of the guys that when he first came in are gone. And, hopefully he learns from those veterans and the players, his teammates that he had over the last 2 years. And, for him, look at your game. We've looked at that, and we talked about the things that we felt he needed to improve on, which was his body, strengthening his body. So right off the bat, both he and Sean, our strength coach, came up with a program for the summer for him to get stronger. We felt that offensively he needed to work in the post a little bit more. So he's worked with our assistant coaches, Popeye and Billy Bano, all summer long on post play. We won't take away his perimeter game because he's very strong there, but we felt he needed to add to that. So he has been in the gym all summer long, really working on those things as far as his growth on the basketball floor. The leadership part, I think, it just has to come. I don't think you just make a guy that a leader on the roster. I think they have to show that, and he has, I think, everything he needs to do that. But you have to be yourself, which is what I've told him. Just be yourself, and we'll go from there.
How do you think about the timing here, where you get all this change, but you look at the Eastern Conference and outside of the top tier, it looks like there's a ton of opportunity?
Well, hey, it's NBA teams. Everybody's going to be competitive, and the East is not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be tough. Everybody's going to have to come out every night and compete. For us that, and what we're focusing on is ourselves. And I just feel that if we can come together and understand what we are capable of doing, and we do those things, we're going to give ourselves a shot to win. Again, I like this group. I think we're going to be a team that competes every single night. The effort, I expect to be there every single night. And, we're going to have guys certainly competing, for minutes out on the floor. And, we're going to, in between all of that, we're going to need one or two of our guys to develop into one of the top players in the league. Very similar to what Paul George did when he was here. I had Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge in Portland, Rashard Lewis in Seattle, and we feel we have some young guys with the potential, if they continue to work and improve, to be an all-star in this league.
Nate, Lance, came late last year. He was before, but obviously he's here from day one. You guys, he's going to play a big role. But just talk about Lance starting now, for full season here, what you're looking for from him and what you think.
I think Lance is very similar to a few of the guys that we have coming in. He has something to prove, and what I mean by that is, he had some success his first time here. He came here for 5-6 games last year, and did some good things for us. But that roster that he played with a few years ago is gone. And those guys that were around him at that time, David West and Roy Hibbert and George Hill, Danny, all those guys are no longer here. This is a younger group. It's a different group. I expect him to show some maturity, and he was close to being an all-star. I think the last year that he was here. I hope that he can get back to that and certainly become one for us. But he needs to show that growth. We know he has the potential to do that, and this year will be a year for him to display that again.
Nate, with all the new faces, internally, have expectations changed at all? Has your message changed at all, maybe from this time last year to now?
We're in the business of winning, and that's what we're focusing on. There's a lot of unknown with our group, far as how we will come together and the style of play and all of that. But we're in the business of winning, and that is going to be our approach to build that team that gives us a chance to win ball games. We certainly understand that we want our fan base to respect what we do, how we go about doing it. So how we play is going to be very important. So expectations really hasn't changed much for me. Last year we won it and expected to win, and that's my approach this year.
Is TJ ready to go for tomorrow, and are there any other health concerns starting camp?
TJ should be ready to practice tomorrow. Yes.